A Game of Pool, the classic Twilight Zone episode from 1959 where Jonathan Winter plays Fat Brown, the undefeated pool champion, weary of wearing his crown even into the afterlife, is endlessly called down from heaven to defend his title from yet another earthly upstart challenger, this time Jesse Cardiff, played by Jack Klugman. Those familiar with the story would be hard-pressed not to associate multi-time Bootleg Racing League champion J.R. Shepherd with Fats Brown, and drivers like Joshua Banks, Chris Bassini, and James Lowe, Jesse Cardiff's all, hungry to prove they are the best. Submitted for your approval and sponsored by the Cruise Shop. From Martinsville, it's round 3 of the Outlaw Modified Series 2019 Spring Season Championship, and you can see all the simulated SK Modified short track action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. Way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view. Bill Soups on, joined by my longtime boothmate Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director. That would be Joe Peak, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Sean, put it simply, it's Martinsville.
It sure is, Soup. Marty, baby. Half mile of mayhem. Paperclip, the Augusta National of racetracks, right here, 340 Speedway Road in Ridgeway, Virginia. Soup. You know, this track, it opened in 1947. They didn't put asphalt on it, well, until about 1951, 55. I'm sorry, they put asphalt on it in 55, and they ran their first 500-lap event in 56. You know, they've been running modifieds here, well, since they broke ground, literally. And so one of the great things about this track is this half-mile paperclip, as we call it. It's got 12 degrees of banking in the turns. Now, you say that's only 12 degrees of banking. Well, we go to other tracks with less banking in the turns, and, well, you've got a little bit to ride with here. You've also got a good wider track surface, if you will, at the turns to maybe do some side-by-side racing. What's a lot of fun is hopping on board the GSRC SK Modified for a lap around Martinsville Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around Martinsville Speedway in the GSRC SK Modified. Martinsville is a fun little track, better known as a paperclip. Gives these guys a lot of fun rubes to run, and always puts on a great show. But you're always going to be hunting for that yellow rumble strip down there on the bottom. Braking marker, probably about that Chevy sign on the wall. You can really dive this car in deep. Let it float to the bottom, back onto the gas, all the way out. Aim for that kind of restart zone. Marker on the wall, leave it be. Back down into turn 1, float in just a little bit, cut it through the middle, and haul it onto the gas right about halfway through the corner. Back out, and once again, aiming for that Chevy sign there. Back onto the brakes. Taking a more direct route into turn 3 versus floating it in 1 and 2. That just driver preference. Some guys might do the same on both ends. Back down here again into turn 1. Float in the middle, kind of letting it rotate a little bit better as the run progresses. You don't want to get on the binders too hard or else the car will get real snappy just like that. All it has to do is step out just to unnerve you or ruin your day. Back out to the start-finish line straight, across the line. Back down into turn 1. Here we go. Floating it through the middle, letting it rotate, bite, back onto the gas, back out of the corner, aiming for the wall, not to hit it. And then back down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time today. Floating through the middle, back onto the gas, out of the corner, across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide around the Martinsville Speedway in the GSRC SK Modified. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
That lap guide, as well as everything on this broadcast, sponsored by the Cruise Shop. Yeah, the Cruise Shop. You know, they've been in operation since 1986. We're a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney vacations, family travel, group travel, honeymoons, and weddings. They would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. You know, give them a call today. You can get them at their phone number, 260-755-6125. Or listen, folks, get on their website. That's probably the quickest way to find out a little more about what they've got going on. Go to the Cruise Shop FW, that stands for Fort Wayne, thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop is dedicated to fulfilling their clients' dreams, one destination at a time, Sue.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings now. With only 2 races in the book, it's still relatively close. You can see the J.R. Shepherd, multi-time champion, with that 1-point lead over James Lowe. But here's the interesting part of this one, because of the rules. Lowe will be starting ahead of Shepherd, so if he can keep Shepherd behind him, they can leave here maybe in a tie. Chris Passini sits in third, only 3 points out, but then you got the big gap to these guys, Matt Shanoski and Tristan Martz, 10 and 16 back. Honestly, with the point system so tight, you get double digits behind the leader, it makes it really hard to come back in this series. Okay, Sean, why don't you look at the point details?
Yeah, let's look at the event details here now. And, well, welcome to round 3, everybody. This 100-lap race. And next week, we'll change things up just a bit as we hit the rotation week in week 4. We'll only do 80 laps next week, but this week we do 100 here at Martinsville. And, of course, the Bootleg Racing League responsible for no tires allowed. That's right. You can't take any. Now, you will get a chance to pull a spare car off the truck if you need it. That's what that one fast repair is, but you can't change the tires. You got to make them last for all 100. This is the iRacing fixed setup on the SK Modified, and, well, the NASCAR Lucky Dog is in play. And if you're watching for the first time, tonight's starting lineup, well, that is set by how the top 12 finished last week. The winner will start in a 12th position, and, well, the transfer spot, as we like to call it, P12, will start on the pole, Sue.
There you go. A lot of rowdy fans here at Martinsville crashing into our broadcast booth. Practice underway right now. James Lowe sitting at the top of the chart. Cassini and Shepherd close behind.
Yeah, we got 23 SK Modifieds getting ready to roll here this evening. With still about 6.5 minutes left in practice, Soup. And you talked about Lowe being up top there. You only have to go back a couple spots to find J.R. Shepherd. And he obviously has some speed. Not all the speed, but listen, it's practice, and we don't have to worry about qualifying. We know what J.R.'s got to work with this evening. He's going to be starting well, we got 23 cars, so he's starting mid-pack. And Martinsville can be a hard track to pass on, Soup. I think he might have his work cut out for him tonight. The weather conditions actually aren't bad here. We're actually under daytime conditions here at Martinsville because they don't have the lights here active on iRacing yet. But the truth is that it's a mild day. And only 70 degrees on track at the moment. It'll heat up a little bit, but it won't heat up that much. So we do have a little bit of wind to deal with out of the west, about 12 miles an hour. That could wreak a little havoc going into the turn, Sue.
Big news is Joshua Banks' name is showing up on the entry list, but he has yet to sign into this session. He'll be scheduled to start on the pole. Hey, I see his car now in pit lane. This is a good sign.
Real good sign. Looking up and down the registered cars in the event tonight. Got a couple missing, but again, a good strong field. A lot of new drivers have been in. Andy Tico, the New Yorker's here this evening. There he is on screen, and at number 65, green. We've got a little green on there, some yellow soup. I think we even got a little blue mixed in on that one. Another New York driver into the fray here in the Bootleg Racing League. Of course, Chris Passini sitting up there right now in second here in practice. Another New York driver with a couple of wins already here in the Bootleg Racing League. There's Kenny Kibbe on screen. Kenny right now 14, fifth. Yeah, he's fifth right now in practice. He knows the way around. Soup, the I'm looking at the, top 10 in practice right now, separated by what? What is that? A tenth of a second, just about?
They are close together.
The margins are very small, sir.
Let's take a look at the 87 of Todd Liston. He's always impressive.
Impressive, but not lucky, Soup.
Nope.
Boy, the racing gods just don't like him. They don't. I'm convinced it's he's going to have to pony up a little bit more money. I think make a bigger donation every month to the racing gods.
Homage to the gods, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere is here. Car number 22, Dan Butler. It's the only Butler I could really think of. Jeeves,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure Dan's heard the litany of
Yeah.
of Butler jokes, Soup.
Alfred, oh. Of course, there's the greatest one of all from our director.
There's Chris Wolfson back in at number 7. Good to see him here tonight.
Just jumped up quite a few spots in practice.
Yeah, he's a slick old veteran. He knows the fast way around here at Martinsville. Again, this half-mile track, Soup, laps just under 20 seconds. Speed of these SK Modifieds here at Martinsville very, very close to the NASCAR Cup Series cars that you'd see run here, and a lot of grunt under the cowling here of the SK Modified.
There's the old veteran Donnie Moore and the number 26 machine.
Donnie's went and rolled out a new paint job on us, Sue.
Stone River. Can't see what that says quite on the front there. Stone River Properties, I believe that says. Nope. Outfitters. Stone River Outfitters. Okay.
Yeah, he's got to check with us before he goes and changes paint jobs there. So
Good looking car.
yeah. Well, they would. I'm getting the impression they are an outdoors.
I would think. I see it.
Type.
There's like a fisherman on there. Yeah,
yes, I
like
saw
a-
men fishing suit. I'm guessing you'd get a nice hat, a good fishing jacket, a good fishing vest, maybe even a tackle box. There you go.
Here's Mike Allen's.
Yes. Already got me thinking about dinner, Sue.
All right. Practice just about wrapping up here.
Nobody's going to knock low off here. I think, as I like to say from time and again, the card's being held a little bit close to the vest here, maybe at Martinsville.
Joshua Banks continues to just sit in pit lane, not putting in any practice time. I believe he is scheduled to be our pole sitter. We'll see if he actually goes out there.
Here's Chris Bassini on screen. He's certainly familiar with this track.
One thing we will watch is James Lowe and J.R. Shepard and see if Lowe can stay in front. All right.
There you go.
Practice is done. Let's go to the grid and we'll see how they're going to sort this thing out. Sean will take it a row at a time. Tim Shinoski is going to be inside of Mark Herzog for row 1.
Oh, and the animated fans are on their feet, Sue, to see Kurt Meek start in third place tonight on that inside of the row 2, right next to Ruben Altis.
Dan Butler and Matt Shinoski fill up 5 and 6.
All right, and we go to row 4. It's going to be James Lowe on the number 99, right next to that number 15 SK Modified with the Eastport feeds on the door.
J.R. Shepard will be in the 9th position. It's going to be inside of Jeff Dooley, the driver who did not get the regrid.
All right, Jeffrey Harden in the number 44 will start in the inside of row 6, right next to the number 14, and Kenny Kibbe starting in the transfer spot. Suki.
Baker's dozen spot goes to Todd Liston, flanked by Robbie Robinson.
Row 8, Brian Dean in the number 23 SK, right next to Donnie Moore in the number 26.
The boss, Lowell Jewell, in the 17th position. Joshua Banks, the car is out on the track. He's back in 18th.
Row 10, Jason Menda, the number 45, right next to Tristan Martz in the number 28.
Hidden blackjack, it's Mike Allen, Andy Tico in the double duck spot, and then the last car sitting in 23rd, Chris Wolfson.
Olsen comes back, got to start all the way in the back. Be a long night for that number 7 SK.
Contrary to what the lead commentator was telling you, apparently Joshua Banks was not scheduled to start on the pole. So he'll be starting well back, so he'll have a lot of work to do, as he is far back in the grid and nowhere close to the top of the point standing. Space car pulls in. Time to get round number 3 of the Outlaw Modified Series here on the Bootleg Racing League, sponsored by the Cruise Shop. Chug-a-luck, makes you want to holler, hi-de-ho, it is Tim Shanowski out in front.
Oh, and a little contact back there. The Butler getting a little bit of a love tap from James Lowe off the start coming out of turn 2.
They complete the first lap, and Shanowski is able to go ahead.
Turn into the wall there. Soup, we got a caution out of 4. I think that was Mike Allen, was it?
I think Kurt Meeks.
No, Kurt Meeks.
Just
it was
went
Kurt
around
Meeks.
all by himself. The entire field goes around. He catches a little bit of the inside wall.
Soup, he gets a little bit of that curb, a little bit too much of it. He even clips the grass just a bit. That's what started the action that got him around, and I think he's going to get away with very, very little damage there. And luckily, the entire field bunched up just enough that they were able to get around clean. Nobody got to the party late on that one.
Get that left front down there to help the car rotate, and certainly did do that.
You can use a little bit of that curb to help you out. Use it kind of as like a cushion, if you will. But boy, you get high center on it, and you are in trouble. And I think that's exactly what we saw there from Kurt.
Tim Shanowski will have the inside position, as will Ruben Altice and Dan Butler. Stuck on the top side to start this race, or start this restart, will be Mark Herzog, Matt Shanowski, and James Lowe. Let's check in on James Lowe in relationship to J.R. Shepard. Well, he's got a little bit of a cushion. Chris Bassini between him and the points leader.
You know, Sue, I was making an observation as we were getting started. I'm going to share that observation with the fans. You know, it's kind of cool to see one of these under the sun for a change. We get so used to the Saturday night racing here on the Global SimRacing Channel with the Bootleg Racing League, and a lot of those races fall under the lights. But Soup, I don't mind the daytime. These modifieds look great here under the sun.
Get lined up too wide. We'll try this one more time. We'll go green for lap number 6. Let's see how the top side does. The number 57 of Mark Shanowski Mark Herzog. Stuck up top. We'll try to get down underneath Tim Shanowski. Ruben Altice, I want any part of that in the 11. He's closed right up in there. And here we go. Good jump from Tim Shanowski. The 57 of Herzog has room if he wants it, and he takes it. He closes the door on Altice.
Bumper cars on the inside line back there. It was Lowe that time taking the shot from the Butler. And Cassini having to check up big time there on the bottom line. And along the top, Matt trying to get by James Lowe.
Great racing going on for fourth position. Lowe was able to get around Matt Shinaski, and right behind him, stalking him, is the number 98 of J.R. Shepard. Shinaski and that 00 stuck up top. Oh, is it Todd Liston? Do I have
Yeah.
to from? Maybe not.
Liston is the one who got turned, and they got a little help from that Arctic Cat behind him. Robbie Robinson was right on his tail. Soup, here's the replay.
I think this all starts if you can watch Kenny Kibbe in the 14. I think he gets loose in front of everybody.
He does. And when he does, that makes the 44, Jeffrey Harden, kind of move up the track. And Liston with really no great place to go there. And you see the contact. Kibbe's going to get a little bit of a shot. That's going to turn him. And Liston goes around behind him there. Just a bunch of cars in the same part of the track at the same time. Soup gets them all turned around.
I don't think there was a lot of hard contact. I think Liston should be able to keep going.
It's, well, we've not even hit 10 laps. It's already starting to feel a little bit like Martinsville.
It is indeed. So with that, let's check in on James Lowe. He sits in fourth. J.R. Shepard right behind him in fifth. Now, good news and bad news for Lowe. He's ahead of Shepard. That's the good news. The bad news is he'll be starting on the outside of row 2. Shepard will be on the inside of row 3. Don't be surprised if JR gets that position before the lap is over. You know, Sean, I always like to prepare for Martinsville. I got my special meal. If we can bring that up real quick, show everybody. Martinsville, notorious for their hot dogs. There it is. I made those myself. Nice little kraut dogs there. How's that look? A little potato salad. And then some Junior Johnson Midnight Moonshine. Wash it all down. I'm ready.
And we just ask that you drink responsibly. That may be hard to do. Junior Johnson's Moonshine. Just saying.
It wouldn't take too many glasses to get fully immersed. Let me just put it that way.
Soup, it's time to go racing again, buddy.
Tim Shinaski working lap corner number 3 here on lap number 11. Mark Herzog in trouble out there. He's going to have to try it again. Also, watch out for Lowe in the 99. Look at this. Watch the 99. He really is working hard on the outside. He's trying to get around Ruben Altice. There's J.R. Shepard right underneath him. I think James is in bad shape right now.
Yeah, you got to be careful to his inside there, Altice right now. Soup kind of looks like the cork in the bottle, maybe a little bit to J.R. Shepard, but behind them, you got Piscini trying to get through, and it's the Butler plugging things up there on the inside right next to Matt Shinaski, who's really digging hard there on the outside.
Tim Shinaski and Mark Herzog out in front. Sure enough, Shepard was able to get Lowe. Lowe did the best he could on the high side, but that's not his forte. Altice sits in third. Then there's another Shinaski in the 00 that Sean was talking about. That's Matt. He's stuck outside of Chris Piscini.
Soup, JR on the attack up there. Ruben Altice just going to let him go. JR got a wheel, got that right front inside, and he went go, go, go. Now Lowe trying to pull off the same move. Altice going to let James Lowe get down there, but Altice brings the car down side by side out of 4.
Lowe happy, though, to be out of the high line now, down where he likes it, down low. And he gets up to 4th position. That's where he started when we went green, but the bad news is Shepard.
Unfortunately, Matt Shinaski, the car starts to spin on him in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And he's going to get a little contact from behind after the spin. There's Matt from up top, the double aught. Just got a little loose going through. Hard to break these SK Modifieds loose, but Matt getting the rear out on it just a bit. He's going to get some right rear damage as a result of it, Sue.
He did, and then trying to get around it was Joshua Banks. He gets into the car of Robbie Robinson. Robinson goes around.
Here's Robbie on screen now, and that's the spin for Robinson. He gets nailed there at the end. I think that was the 45. I think that was Menda that caught him.
Menda gets it, and then Chris Wolfson gets a part of it as well.
So it looks like time to get into the trailer, get that extra car out, Soup, and get a chance to get a good result here in this SK Modified event tonight.
All this going on behind Tim Shinowski. A word we don't use very often. A phrase is wire to wire. Right now, Tim Shinowski trying to do that. How about Mark Herzog? He's been able to start on the outside of row 1 every time. Able to get down in there. This time, though, Sean, he's got J.R. Shepard in that third spot.
Well, Herzog certainly had plenty of racing on short tracks, half-mile short tracks this week with his run in the majors last weekend, the short track nationals there at Bristol. We take the banking down just a bit. We change the configuration of the track. We come here to Martinsville, and Herzog hops into the SK Modified. So, again, a busy week for that man, and kind of familiar territory. So I expect Herzog to be up there right now as they all get ready to line back up here, Soup. I think we're about ready to go back to racing here pretty quick.
Yeah, our yellow was a little longer than it was before. They had to do a little housekeeping. Chris Wolfson was a car a lap down, was kind of stuck in the mix there. He had to get it wound up. So we'll go around, I think, probably an extra lap until we get that sorted out.
Hey, Soup, you know who's back there lurking, kind of slowly inching his way up through the field? New paint job, but not a new driver. Donnie Moore. Got 5 spots here, just sitting outside the top 10 here as we get slated to restart this race.
Going green on lap number 22. Points leader J.R. Shepard and James Lowe side by side in the second row. Ruben Altice back in the 5th spot after he let both of those guys go by. All right, we're racing again. Shinowski gets the jump. Herzog gets there if you want it, Mark. You're clear. He listens to me. Oh, getting up on the curb was J.R. Shepard, and that's going to let James Lowe get the spot from the top side.
Ooh, and Altice almost gets contact from Chris Passini as Passini was trying to get by. Altice makes it a really quick move in front of him. And Soup, we got another caution coming out of turn 4. Big junk. A bunch of cars involved.
I think it starts with the number 44 getting together with the 3.
Well, if I'm being honest, I think he had a little bit of help, Soup. I think Mike Allen. Honestly, this is the nature of Martinsville. This is what happens. Everybody brakes, gets back to the throttle at a different point, and sometimes you're the guy right behind it. You become, well, part of the braking system. And unfortunately, that gets Jeffrey Harden around.
But he drives away from it. Harden does okay. He gets out of it all right.
Yeah, he is one of the cars that kind of survives that. Unfortunately, there were a few cars in there that had just gotten their spare cars off that last caution. On board here with Menda.
Right aboard. Lowell Jewell involved in this one as well.
Yeah, Jason's going to get a good look at this, and he's going to get through it. Maybe kind of. He stops right on track and does not make any contact. Got on the binders really hard there.
Jewell ran around. He got nosed in. Brian Den got a part of it. Andy Tico involved in this one.
Yeah, and that's second. That's a second pit stop for Tico. So Tico's probably sitting in there getting repair at the moment on his car. In fact, yeah, he was in the pit lane there for quite a bit. Wolfson's going to come back down. This will be a second stop for him. Yeah, Tico with a almost 20-second stop in the box. That means some repair for that SK.
Well, we started this one in the daytime, but at the pace we're going, it may be dark before we get this thing finished up.
You know what they used to
7:36 stand.
You know what they used to do at my home track back in the day when the shows would run long, Soup. They'd have everybody take their cars and line them up around the track and put their headlights on.
Okay.
So.
Well, interesting news. James Lowe was credited with making the pass on J.R. Shepard, so now Lowe will be in third, Shepard in fourth. A little bit of a hard charger to Kenny Kibbe, up 5 spots in 7th in the 14 car. We talked about it before. How about 7 spots gained for Donnie Moore in the 26?
He picked up a couple of more on that short little stint we had a race in there, and we get ready to go back to green. The lights are out on that Ford Mustang pace car. Shinosky got the field, Soup.
Yeah, he's going to restart it one more time so far. It's all worked out for him. Mark Herzog's been doing a really good job from the outside of the front row every time, and once again, he dives it in there. All right, watch out for the 98. That is Shepard and Lowe side by side. Lowe is Lowe, Shepard on top. Watching the whole thing is Piscini. Shepard gets a good drive off of 4, puts a little bit on the wall going into 1. And I hear more bumping and banging in the back, but we're still racing.
Yeah, Soup. Dan Butler struggling mightily after that restart. He has dropped about 6 spots, and they're spinning coming off of 4, but they save it. Altice was loose and sideways practically, right next to Martz. Somehow he saved it coming off of 4, but the caution's back out. And that happened on the front stretch. Mike Allen making contact with, I think that was...
Kurt Meeks.
Kurt Meeks, yes. Boy, hard to see the numbers on Kurt Meeks' car, unfortunately. Has nothing to do with my rods and cones, Soup. He's just chosen to go with a darker number, and it's really hard to pick up from up top here. He's in the number 18. There's that Clarence Steakhouse SK Modified Mike Allen there, able to drift up the track just a little bit. Contact with the left front. Doesn't end well for Allen. Meeks able to get on by.
.20 car still on the lead lap.
Flag staying busy tonight, Sue.
Yeah, everybody else still out there racing. Jason Menda, the last car, in 23rd position, 3 laps down. So what's going on in front? Well, Mark Herzog again continues to be able to get down off of the outside of row 1, not lose that spot. Shepard was on the high side for a long time and really had to work hard to keep from falling, giving a spot to Chris Piscini. Kibbe picks up another spot up into 6th now. And Donnie Moore picks up a couple more up into 7th. The 26th is on rails if he can get there.
Oh, he can get there, Soup. It's been a steady climb so far, just chipping away. Chipping away, chipping away. Donnie Moore may be there at the end. He's won a few here at Martinsville.
Again, he manages to get the cars in sets of 2, which keeps them on the inside line every time we go green. You'll see if he can get the best of Kenny Kibbe, who we stuck in 6th position outside of row 3. going to go around one more time before we get the show on the way. All right, boys, let's get ourselves a nice little green flag run here. Tim Shanowski, for the umpteenth time, will be bringing him to the line to get this thing going again. Pace car is in.
Tim's a fan of this rhythm right now, Sue.
Here we go.
Ooh, Herzog really struggled to get going there.
Yeah. And finally, Herzog's going to lose the spot. As diving it in deeper than Confucius in a submarine was James Lowe. He gets second, and we got another caution.
And Andy Tico on his lid there. They were playing bumper cars at the start, Sue.
Tico did his best to stay off the rear end of Brian Den. Dean didn't...
Well, Dean checked up for the 44 in front of him, Harden. And then it just started the melee. And unfortunately, again, Tico, the recipient of just the worst luck at all, being the guy that winds up on his lid. That chain reaction, hard to recover from.
Mike Allen was the one who gave him the shot that turned him over. Nothing Mike could do about that one.
All right, so here we go. Here's some thinking on the fly, okay? So we said that the flag stand was busy this evening. Did you know in the Cup Series, okay, that those flags that the flagmen use for, I believe it's a 36 race season, did you know those flags are handmade? Homemade, in fact.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lady back in Magnolia, Delaware, but her name is, I think, Marlene, and she makes a set of those every year for the flagmen in the Cup Series. Interesting little tidbit, huh?
A little bit of Betsy Ross in her.
Yeah, I guess so. America making flags for almost 300 years. That's a good slogan. They should use that more. Just saying. That's
okay.
You know, throwing that out there, Soup.
Let's file that one away.
That's a movement I can get behind.
All right. Tim Shanowski is on the front again, but this time things are a little different. His wingman for the entire race has been Mark Herzog. Not the case now. iRacing gives James Lowe credit for being in second. Herzog will be inside of row 2. Chris Passini is in fourth, and your points leader now, J.R. Shepard, back to the inside of row 3. Looking good for Lowe as far as it goes point-wise.
Chris Passini's dad, Tony Passini, chiming in here out in the chat, Soup. Big modified fan and certainly familiar with my home track, made the comment that it looks like a night at the head. And if you've heard that before, then you definitely know what he's talking about. But yeah, it's a little bit rough and tumble this evening, Soup. We still got quite a ways to go in this race. I mean, we haven't even hit the halfway point yet.
You know, that phrase, I don't think we need to delve any deeper into it, but you can go a lot of different directions from that one. I do not know what that means, and we will just move along. I had my brain spinning. Tim Shanowski in front, James Lowe in second, and you and I are going to have to talk after the event.
All right, Sue. Well, I'll fill you in.
All right, long green flag run coming right now. I feel it. Shanowski gets a good jump. James Lowe is really slow to stay up with him. Herzog has the opportunity to get down in there, and he does. The 57 of the 99 side by side, as is Shepard on the inside of Passini.
It all starts with one lap coming out of 4. Can they complete it? Do we stay green? I think so, Sue.
Here's the bad news for Lowe, who's stuck up top. He loses a spot not only to Herzog, but now getting underneath them is J.R. Shepard.
And these guys still checking up hard all the way around the track. Piscini getting hip checked to the outside. He loses a couple spots there, Sue. Now Donnie Moore.
Donnie Moore continuing the march, up now 11 spots into 5th.
I can hear Gideon's trumpet right now, Sue.
Wow, we are on a reference.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Here.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Shanowski, Herzog, Shepard, Lowe, Moore.
You know what? Moore gets around Piscini, kind of stalling out just a bit. Lowe able to outpace him here at the moment.
Well, Donnie's got himself sitting in the 5th position. I think he's happy right now. I think he's just waiting here in spot number 5, waiting for the next yellow to come out.
Well, cars starting to spread out now. A little bit less of the major checkup we had been seeing, restart after restart, and that was really a lot of what was causing these wrecks. Sue, I got a feeling you might have been on to something there on this restart. Maybe time for a bit of a green flag run. Liston back there working on, trying to get around Brian Dean.
There you see it as they go too wide. Careful, boys. Joshua Banks is underneath Martz right now as I was watching that one. This is a battle for 8th. Banks gets that done. Who's in our transfer spot? It's the Butler.
Yes, it is.
22, Dan Butler.
I think Dan has stopped the slide. Soup, he really had struggled mightily on the restarts, but he seems to have gathered things back up now. He's got Matt Shanowski in his mirror. I'm a fan of that 22, by the way. That was my father ran that number. It's a family-owned car.
Coming at you. You got to keep an eye on J.R. Shepard now. He is getting itchy as he gets, boy, he starts to, how does he do that without hitting Herzog?
Yeah, I don't know.
The words actually came out of my mouth and I had to catch him and put him back in, that J.R. Shepard gets into the back of Herzog. He did not.
It's got to be the pedals.
But he's
got some fancy pedal set.
Wow, he is itching to get there now because now Lowe is coming up on him.
Tim up there really not necessarily checking out, but he's really throwing the car around just the way he wants to. Taking care of the tires, driving it kind of easy up there.
Tim Shanowski, Mark Herzog's biggest fan right now. Herzog is holding back Shepard and Lowe. And then there's Donnie Moore back in 5th.
Yeah. Right now, though, just again, Soup, you said you didn't think he looked like he was ready to make any kind of a move. He's moved up maybe about as far as he wants at the moment. Now we're starting to run off a string of laps here. We'll see if maybe he starts to push forward because Chris Piscini back there maybe starting to look a little impatient in the eSport feed, SK Modified.
Let's drop back and look at 10th position real quick. This is Ruben Altice, started in 4th position. Jeff Dooley, a driver we haven't talked much about right now, working right on behind him. We'll see if Jeff can get anything done there.
Jeff diving it in deep. Altice covering off the inside there.
Just some good racing now as people are getting their groove in. Better go back up front. Here comes Shepard with a drive off of 4. I think he's going to take a shot at it. Down into 1, gets a nose in there about halfway. They have gapped James Lowe a little bit. James, you want to get up there and try to follow Shepard through if you can.
Ooh, Herzog turning it down the track. That's a great run out of turn 4 by Herzog. I think Herzog, I'm sorry, Soup, but I think Mark can do this all day with him.
Yeah, I don't think JR can. I think he's going to use up his stuff trying to make this pass. He's been working on it for 3 laps now. And it has allowed Lowe to get back in the mix.
Yeah, that's the line Mark's been running. I think he's totally comfortable with continuing to run that. He keeps getting a great shot off the exit of the turn and winning the drag race down these straights.
And all this is doing is allowing, look at Herzog fight him off. Tim Shanowski is loving this.
And he is
and Herzog fails. Yeah.
He's not quite as good off of 2, but he coming off of 4. Herzog really got it hooked up.
He's waiting to see if Lowe is going to get in there now and make a shot at Shepard.
It's really, really bunched up, these 5 just behind our leader, Tim Shanowski. Ooh, a little bit of a tap there from a little bit of the chrome horn of Mark Herzog from JR.
That's the first tap.
Hello.
That one was friendly. The next kiss might be a little more passionate. Shanowski, Tim, in an interesting situation. He doesn't want to race too fast and use up his stuff in case there's a yellow flag and it brings everybody back together. On the other hand, the more he distances himself away from those guys, the less chance he has of J.R. Shepard running them down.
I don't think Tim's overdriving that car right now at all. I think he's gliding. I think he's out there colliding. I think he likes the way the car feels, and he's just having a good time up there. I haven't seen him make any mistakes. Oh, I don't want to put that on him.
Yeah.
He's been smooth. We'll leave it at that, okay?
This report, Dan Butler continues to hold down that regrid pole position. Matt Shanowski in the Baker's dozen spot. So, boy, you got Shanowski, one driver in the perfect position up in front, and the other brother looking to pick up one more spot.
And remember, Matt had big trouble. He's had to come all the way from dead last in this field. Got himself up to 12th right now, or I'm sorry, 13th. Not too bad, but can he get one more spot from Dan Butler? Gonna be tough. Dan, like I said earlier, Dan's kind of found his groove now. Got things a little bit better hooked up than he did in the first half of this race. And just like that, we've only got 31 laps. We're working 31 laps to go here soon.
Let's go back up front and watch J.R. Shepard now as he continues to try to find a line. Last time around, I thought he would maybe try the outside line just to see if that works.
Well, it worked for Herzog, but I don't think Herzog's going to give him that outside line. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a chance for JR to get up there. Herzog's still one of the fastest cars on track consistently, Sue. But again, I think Tim's just up there gliding right now.
About, maybe 12 car lengths between Shanowski and Herzog.
In fact, I would say right now, whereas Tim was maybe a big fan of the cautions a little while ago, I would say at this point he probably doesn't want one at all.
No. Ready to go. Let's take it home from here.
Banks back here trying to get this shot from Kippy. Going to the inside. Kippy's not been as strong up there as we've seen up front. Banks going to take a very, very shallow line there, and that's going to get him by clean. Boy, Banks really drove it in hard there, swooping into 4 or into 3. Low up there, trying to make a move on J.R. Shepard. Sue, they're side by side down the backstretch. They were. J.R. is going to get in front of him now.
Continuing to work on him. .25 to go. James Lowe starting to get a little bit itchy.
I think Piscini's getting a little itchy back here behind him. Oh, hey, coming through the center of the turn. Oh, Piscini might have nicked it coming out of 4. Not bad. He's still got pace.
We're happy in that fifth position in case the yellow comes out, but Donnie, I'm not sure we're going to get one now.
Herzog up there continues to outpace J.R. Shepard. For what it's worth, I mean, that's now Soup about 15 consistent laps of JR, just nothing there. Now JR could be sitting on this here just a bit, Soup, but how much longer can he sit here as we approach the 20 to go marker?
Well, it depends if you're thinking about win or if you're thinking about a championship. He's got the guys that are chasing him behind him, James Lowe and Piscini. So if things finish up the way they are right now, I mean, this is good news for Shepard.
Well, he has an obligation to fight hard, but he also has an obligation to protect this points championship, and I guess a P3 finish not too bad if you don't have enough for the guy in front of you. Sue?
What time is it, baby?
It's time, baby. Let's roll out that disco ball, drop it down from the ceiling. Everyone get out on the floor. It's an all skate. It's time to boogie here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the Bootleg Racing League.
And as the sun begins to sink, everybody does go dancing. Let's check back in on 12th position. Dan Butler has been in that transfer spot for a long time. Matt Shanowski continues to work on him, cannot find a way around.
And Banks and Kibbe are still going at it back there. Yeah, that's still a great battle, Soup. They are side by side. Banks maybe dealing with a small connection issue, which could make it tough for Kibbe to try and get around.
Yeah, that one, Banks in 7th, Kibbe in 8th. Donnie Moore in 5th is being pestered by Bassini. Just ahead of those guys, you see him right there. So you saw both those cars in the same screen.
Ooh, Donnie Moore with a bit of a mistake there coming out of turn 2.
We saw it, and there's the 15 getting underneath.
Oh,
they
boy.
touch. They keep going straight, and Moore has the momentum to hang on.
Yeah, listen, Piscini helping his cause there a little bit, getting out of the throttle, cracking it there so Moore could get away. That makes him, that lets him live another day to fight here.
16 to go, 15 to go, and better watch out because Herzog beginning to close the gap a little bit on Shanowski.
I've watched Shanowski here the last couple times around the track, Soup, and it does seem like the right rear starting to free up a little bit on it. So maybe Tim wasn't riding as easy as we thought. Maybe he was driving it a little hard, but he still has 0.7 of a second. Man, Herzog has had J.R. Shepard in his mirror now, Soup, since the restart after that last caution flag. I just wonder if J.R. is waiting here for maybe the last 5 laps to really get on it. They'll be coming up on traffic soon. I don't know if they're going to catch it, but right now, Chris Wolfson sits at the end of this battle. He goes into turn 1, and Tim Shanowski comes across the line.
Herzog Able to fend off Shepard. I think Shepard has saved up his stuff. Here he comes. He's making the move underneath. Out of 4. Again, the momentum to the top side.
Herzog with a little contact coming out of 4 Soup. Saw the sparks.
The good news for Shepard is he's got enough distance on James Lowe that he can play around here on Herzog and not worry about losing a position. Herzog might have burned up his stuff as he was starting to gain on Shanowski.
Ooh. And Joshua Banks back here making a move with Donnie Moore. That was a bit of a bump and run. He gave Donnie Moore a little bit of a bump going into turn 2. He gets him down the backstretch. Banks got around Piscini, then went to work on Moore. Now Piscini trying to go back to work here and get a position back.
8 to go.
Man, how about Banks? Up 13 spots now, Soup, here in P5.
From the very back of the grid almost. Herzog continues to be pestered by Shepard. We ride on board. Looking ahead with Kibbe in the 14. He's got Fassini ahead of him and more. Banks, those guys battle for 5th.
Go give him some Twitch love there, NG. Kibbs. Probably streaming right now. Boy, Piscini not had any luck in this one, Sue. He lost a couple spots, hadn't been able to get him back. Now he's just got to try and keep Kibbe off the back door. Battle for 2nd. No, and Herzog gets a piece of the wall again, Sue.
Shepard has been trying the high line in, really high, and then trying to get it down low out of the exit and see if he can get the pass made. He's been trying everything he can think of to get around him. He'll be a little more careful now because Lowe is beginning to close. Tim Shanowski out in front. His brother Matt in 13th trying to get around Butler.
We had a little trouble getting going tonight, Soup, but boy, we've had a glorious run here. What looks like the checkered flag coming out soon.
6 corners to go for Tim Shanowski.
J.R. Shepard running out of chances here, Soup.
We don't get many wire-to-wire winners here in the Outlaw Modified Series. We're going to have one tonight as Tim Shanowski just has to negotiate corners 3 and 4, bring it home. He picks up round number 3 in the Outlaw Modified Series. Herzog does a great job holding on to 2nd. J.R. Shepard gets 3rd.
Yeah, I'd say Herzog earned that podium right there, man. you get one over on Shepard, you've had a good day.
Matt Shanowski tried and tried and tried, but could not get around Dan Butler. The 22 of Butler comes home in 12th. Look for him to be on the pole next round. All right, with the racing finish, we'll take a short break right now, but don't go far. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Outlaw Modified Series, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League and sponsored by the Cruise Shop. All right, let's give you the finishing order of the Round 3 event. Tim Shanoski goes wire to wire to pick up the win as he fends off Mark Herzog for every restart. Then Herzog had his hands full with J.R. Shepard. Herzog was able to get second. Shepard has to settle for third. James Lowe will fall another point behind Shepard in the points as he has to settle for fourth. Joshua Banks drives up 13 spots to get fifth position. Donnie Moore had another nice run as he picked up 10 spots for sixth. Chris Bassini, Kenny Kibbe, and Tristan Martz go 7th, 8th, and 9th, and Jeff Dooley gets the 10th spot.
Soup, and then 11th is going to go to the 11. Ruben Altiz finishing there. Dan Butler is going to finish 12th and will be our pole sitter next week in that orange number 22. We're going to match Shanoski to double out, come just short there, finishing 13th tonight. Todd Liston with a 14th place finish. 15th going to go to Jeffrey Harden. Bad luck for him tonight. Brian Dean, the number 23, is going to finish 16th. 17th going to go to Kurt Meeks. The boss, Lowell Jewell, in number 3, will finish 18th tonight. 19th to Mike Allen. Robbie Robinson in 20th. And Soup, I'll take the rest here. Chris Wolfson in at number 7. He'll finish 21. 22nd to Jason Menda. And Andy Tico, who did wind up on his lid, will round out the 23-car field. Soup, I believe you have caught up with our big winner, Mr. Tim Shanoski.
I do indeed. Tim, congratulations on the win. Let me get inside your helmet there for a bit. You got that big lead. How hard do you drive the car when you got Herzog back there and Shepard lurking? Do you think the more space I can get, the better off of holding off Shepard if he gets around, or worry about the yellow and not have anything left? What do you think?
Well, Soup, I think with these cars, since iRacing made the changes a few seasons ago, I think to be fast, you have to drive the car hard all the time. So in the past, yeah, I might try to save something, but now basically I'm just trying to drive as hard as I can and, try to pull away from them and build a gap to them. And there were a couple times there where they were fighting side by side, and I was happy to see that. Yeah, it was once we got over the cautions, the second half of the race was a lot of fun.
Let's talk about those cautions. A ton of restarts in the very beginning, but you were able to get the best of Mark Herzog every time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously whoever's starting second is at a disadvantage because they don't know when the leader's going to go. So, I mean, the leader on the restarts is always going to have the advantage. So just have to make sure you don't make any mistakes on the restart, and you should be able to go into turn 1 with the lead.
Tip of the hat to Mark, though, on all those restarts. He's outside of you on row 1. He managed to seem to tuck in behind you. Never did lose that spot. He was there every time on those restarts, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's not easy to do. He did a really good job today. I was really impressed with how he was able to hold off JR. He did a really good job tonight.
Well, you get the win. Your brother, tried as he might, was back there in 13th position the entire time, the last half of the race, trying to get around Dan Butler. He will not be regridding, so he'll be back close to you somewhere as you're going to go back to 12th. You'll be starting next year, brother, come next round.
Yeah, we'll see how things go next week. Thompson's a difficult track. I haven't run too well there, but next week's a new race. So I just want to thank the Cruise Shop for their continued support of our series, and see you next week.
All right, congratulations on the win. Tim Shanoski gets another one. Another notch on his belt. Sean?
All right, Soup, and I have caught up with Mark Herzog. Mark, congratulations on a podium finish tonight. I had made reference during the race that, you've had a lot of time on half-mile tracks over this past week, maybe even the past couple weeks, actually. Tell us about your run tonight.
Yeah, it worked out well. I was just going to try to stay behind the 07 and follow him around and hopefully not lose him too far. And if I could, maybe get a run shot at him at the end, but I just couldn't catch him. And then I had fun trying to keep JR behind me. He raced me clean, and we were giving each other space, so that worked out real well.
Mark, I'm going to come straight out and ask you, all the time you spent in that super late model getting ready for Bristol for the majors, did any of that translate to the modified?
A bit, but their tracks are so different with the banking of Bristol compared to the flat of Martinsville. There's a bit that carries over the throttle control and stuff, but yeah, getting 500 laps in at Bristol and then another 100 laps here was fun.
So you're done, right? You're ready to move on something a little bit different, maybe?
Yeah, happy to see what we get here next week in the BR. I haven't looked at the schedule yet.
It doesn't get any easier. You go to Thompson next week. But, Mark, listen, it's got to feel good to finish on the podium this week here in Bootleg. I know you haven't been around the series as long as a lot of these guys, but I'll tell you what, we've seen a faster car every week out of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I just got to thank Joel Lowell for putting on an awesome series of Cruise Shop, sponsoring these broadcasts, and everybody who's been running the series. It's really been fun.
All right. It's been fun watching Mark Herzog. And, well, Soup, I'm going to go ahead and talk to J.R. Shepard real quick because he had a pretty big night too, but he couldn't get around Mark Herzog, the man we just spoke to. Now it's J.R. Shepard's turn. J.R., maybe not pushing too hard, battling here for another championship, or just didn't have anything for him? What's the answer?
Sean, I'll just be honest with you. I do not like these SK modifieds the last couple of seasons. It seems like the tracks we go to are one groove track. You, especially here tonight, if it's a flat track, you cannot get a run on anybody. If you're on the inside, the gearing's just not right. So you can be faster going in, and you can be faster through the corner and get back to the throttle before they do. But you're going to bog down if you're holding it down, not to getting the guy on the outside.
Yeah, when we saw that, I mean, Mark was having a lot of success, especially out of 4. But his car was a bullet coming off of turn 4. Did you see the same thing?
Yeah, I really think I was faster through 3 and 4, but not much you can do about it. It was a tough track for sure. I don't know how much passing happened behind us there. I'm sure some guys were able to make some passes, but if you've got somebody that's fairly close in time with you, it's going to be extremely hard if they don't make a mistake.
Yeah, Banks was the big mover. He was the one that was able to come up through the field. Not too many other cars. Donnie had a good run back there, but yeah, it was a bit of a stalemate. A lot of guys, and some guys struggled on the restarts, but you guys had several of those early. It looked like, honestly, JR, it was going to be a caution fest, and then you guys got to some racing there on that final run.
Yeah, I was definitely glad that we decided to race instead of wreck. That was not fun at the first half of the race. Seemed like you get about a lap in and a caution would come out. But, yeah, glad we got some laps in. I just, I don't know. These modifieds, they need the gearing changed, or they need to be a little bit freer through the corner or something so you can run side by side. It's just really tough off the corner.
Well, we certainly have gotten word here in the past couple of weeks that a new tour mod has been scanned. They went and scanned Justin Bonsignore's tour mod. So who knows? Maybe an improved tour mod may bring a change of attitude, but we'll see. Congratulations to J.R. Shepard. Soup, another great race here at Martinsville and another great Bootleg Racing League event here on a Saturday night. And I had fun, buddy. I'm already looking forward to next week.
Yes, indeed. We should have a good one. So I guess we are wrapping this thing up here as we'll call this a night here. Thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more information about the Bootleg Racing League, try Facebook.com on Facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League or BootlegRacingLeague.com. Thanks to the series sponsors. That's the Cruise Shop, 260-755-6125. Visit them at thecruiseshopfw.com. On screen now are some of the equipment and software we use to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen to get a hold of more of her great work. The Bootleg Racing League returns for round 4. That's going to be from Thompson Speedway. GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us. Sliding across the screen now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on the calendar. For more information about us, Global SimRacing Channel, Twitter, GSR Channel, Facebook, Global SimRacing Channel, Instagram at GSR_Graham. Also, you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Tim Shanowski gets his first win of the season here at Martinsville. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.